Today in the New York Times, Captain Sully Sullenberger wrote, in my opinion, the best letter I have ever read about the problems with the Boeing 737 MAX 8. You will know Captain Sullenberger and First Officer Jeff Skiles flew the Miracle on the Hudson aircraft, an Airbus that lost both engines and ended up landing brilliantly in the Hudson River. I did a film called Miracle on the Hudson. Why, it wasn't a miracle, but it was pilot skills that safely landed the aircraft on the river that fateful day. I'm going to read his letter to the New York Times today and let you make your own mind up. Personally, I think he's nailed it.
Letter to the Editor, Captain Sully Sullenberger, New York Times Magazine, October the 13th, 2019. In What Really Brought Down the Boeing 737 MAX, William Langewiesche draws the conclusion that the pilots are primarily to blame for the fatal crash of the Lion Air 610 and Ethiopian 302. In resurrecting this age-old aviation canard, Langewiesche minimizes the fatal design flaws and certification failures that precipitated those tragedies, and still pose a threat to the flying public. I have long stated, as he does note, that pilots must be capable of absolute mastery of the aircraft and the situation at all times, a concept pilots called airmanship. Inadequate pilot training and insufficient pilot experience are problems worldwide, but they do not excuse the fatally flawed design of the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, MCAS. That was a death trap. As one of the few pilots who has lived to tell about being in the left seat of an airliner when things went horribly wrong, with seconds to react, I know a thing or two about overcoming an unimagined crisis. I am one of the few pilots who have flown a Boeing 737 MAX Level D full-motion simulator, replicating both accident flights multiple times. I know firsthand the challenges the pilots on the doomed accident flights faced, and how wrong it is to blame them for not being able to compensate for such a pernicious and deadly design. These emergencies did not present as a classic runaway stabilizer problem, but initially an ambiguous, unreliable airspeed and attitude situations, masking MCAS. The MCAS design should never have been approved, not by Boeing and not by the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. The National Transportation Safety Board has found that Boeing made faulty assumptions both about the capability of the aircraft design to withstand damage or failure, and the level of human performance possible once the failures began to cascade. Where Boeing failed, the Federal Aviation FAA should have stepped in to regulate, but it failed to do so. Lessons from accidents are bought in blood, and we must seek all the answers to prevent the next one. We need to fix all the flaws in the current system. Corporate governance, regulatory oversight, aircraft maintenance, and yes, pilot training and experience. Only then can we ensure the safety of everyone who flies. Captain Sully Sullenberger.